Welcome to Positive Energy with Crystals. My name's Hillary, and this is my week 3 video for the hashtag Finding the Fae with Summer from Astarias. And I know I've said this the last 2 times, but holy cow, this week, this 3rd week, it was, you'll see. So, I lost my notes that I had written down because I needed to organize this week, and I lost them. I thought they were on my tablet, and some of them are and some of them aren't. So I'm gonna wing it, which was probably not a good idea for this particular episode because it was, you'll see. So here's my little journal. This is for this week. I got more of my little things, the stickers, and my journal. So my journal prompts, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of writing little notes because I don't have room in my little journal here. I've been focusing more on the readings. Summer's been giving us tarot spreads to do, and if you've seen, I use my pendulum and my charms, and holy cow, I love it. They're so accurate and dead on, and so I've been focusing on that. And then so my little journal prompts, I've been kind of just doing notes. So this week's journal prompt was, what signs or synchronicities have I noticed recently that could be Fae related? So I'm going to tell you my reading experience here in a little bit because that one was funny, but it was funny because I noticed a lot of cats since we've started doing the Fae stuff. Well, if you go make sure you watch Summer's videos. She talks a lot about cats. You gotta go watch her video, but I underlined cats after watching her video. Go watch it, you'll understand. So this nuisance is not being a nuisance. I'll explain that here in a little bit. The color blue. So we've got a lot of bluebirds, blue jays, dragonflies, lots of blue dragonflies. There's some green ones out there too, but there's a lot of blue ones. And just pops of color that are just like blue in random weird places, or somebody will make a big deal about a blue color, or just there's been a lot of blue lately. And then as I was getting ready to record this video, I was thinking, do I have time to record it? I've got something I got to do. Do I have plenty of time? Well, the time was 11:11, which I do have plenty of time. It's not till later that I have to be somewhere. But anytime I look at the clock, it seems just like when I need to check on something, it's 11:11. Air conditioner break. If you've watched my videos this summer, you know I stop for every time the air conditioner comes on because I'm not shutting the air conditioner off because it's hot and humid. Anyway, back to the signs and synchronicities. So cats, the color blue with the bluebirds and blue dragonflies and all that, and then the 11:11 I think are the synchronicities. Now the experiences are my nuisances not being a nuisance. So not so much inside, but when I'm outside, not all bugs, but a lot of the bugs and stuff don't annoy me as much as they used to. Like spiders, I'm totally okay with spiders now. And they kind of seem to know that, and they'll see me and go another way. Now if they're inside and they're being creepy, then if we can get them outside, we'll get them outside. But if they're just being creepy and being jerks about it, then yeah, they get squished. And I'm sorry, but I can't have that. But one specifically was there. I don't like snakes, but I'm terrified of mice. If they're mice would be the one nuisance that I would consider not, no matter what they're doing, they're a nuisance, because I can't do mice. Can't do it. So I think that's why I'm more okay with snakes, because I know that they'll eat the mice and the mice will be gone. But last week, I think it was last week, I was doing something that I needed to get done because it kept getting put off, mostly because of the weather, because so much rain. So I was sitting outside, and I was sitting up towards the front of the camper, like up where it connects to the truck. And I heard the rocks moving around next to me, and I looked down, and there's this huge garter snake. Now, garter snakes, are small, but for a garter snake, it was huge. And he was a big garter snake, and small snake, but still, it was a big garter snake. And so next to the gravel, there was where the grass met the gravel, actually, there's a puddle of water, because it's a low spot, so the water, there's always a puddle there if it's wet. There's always a puddle there even when it's not wet. And so that snake just looked at me and then got in the water and just stopped and hung out there for a little bit. And I thought, I gotta take a picture of this garter snake, because I gotta show my husband how huge this garter snake is, because he's not gonna believe how big this garter snake is. And he's gonna ask me, are you sure it was a garter snake? And I'm gonna say yes. And it happened. But when I went up to stand up to take a picture of it, it like, not stood up, but he like raised his head really far up. And for a garter snake, it was really far up because it was so big. And it looked at me and it was like, nah, I'm not taking my picture taken. And it took off underneath the camper. And the funny thing was, I kept saying, no, don't go, I want your picture. And it got faster. And the whole time it slithered away, it kept its head up high. And I've never seen a snake do that. It was a little freaky, but I wasn't grossed out about it. I wasn't freaked out about it. I wasn't like, oh my God, there's a snake. Usually garter snakes don't affect me as much as like other snakes, but it was just like, he was there just to hang out, but he didn't want his picture taken because he didn't want me to show everybody how big he is, I think. And then he was gone. And so not long after that, I can't remember what was going on, but just all of a sudden I noticed this time of year we usually have a lot of gnats and mosquitoes and stuff, and so even if it's cool enough to sit outside, you don't want to sit outside. And I've noticed that there hasn't been as many of the gnats and bugs. And like, we let the dog out, or take the dog outside, and we'll get gnats and stuff and come in, and so then we have to spend time chasing gnats all night. But it hasn't been as bad. And my husband pointed out that, I brought in the hummingbird feeders, and he thought that's what I brought the hummingbird feeders in. I said, well, I just wanted hummingbirds, but I think they're keeping and stuff away. And we have so many dragonflies this year, so many. And there are lots of blue ones, and it's just crazy how many dragonflies there are. And to me, I think it was an interaction with the face saying, yeah, we like what you're doing outside. We like your little garden, even though the tomatoes are dying because it's too much water and too much heat. And we're gonna help you out. Make something that's frustrating, because I get so frustrated with gnats and bugs, and they annoy me. And I think they're helping keep those away by having hummingbirds come to my feeders and having the dragonflies come hang out. That's my journal part. So now let's get to the reading, because that's the most exciting, and I'm really excited to tell you about that part. Okay, so I downloaded the free digital journal just so that I could get the tarot prompts ahead of time, and that was bad because I wanted to do them early. Let me get my notebook here, or my journal where I wrote big descriptions down. So, like right after I did week 2 stuff, I thought I'm going to do week 3 because this is exciting. I want to do this. So the first question is, where am I most likely to sense the Fae within my aura? And it spelled out my name. It spelled out Hilary. And it spelled it correctly. 1 L. And I'm like, okay, well that's freaky. But in my head, it was also like a seriously kind of attitude. It wasn't like, oh, Hilary, this is exciting. It was like, are we seriously doing this now? No. So then the next question, how do they appear in my natural surroundings? And it gave me some weird name, and it was a small town in some part of Africa that, or no, what was it? Whoops. Yeah, it was a town in Africa. Also, it was could have been a Star Wars character. He killed his victims with his poisonous breath. So I tried to do a few more, and it just kept getting weirder. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't supposed to be happening. They're messing with me, and we're going to stop now. So I waited till after Summer's first video for week 3. And it got better. So let me tell you what happened. So the first question, where am I most likely to sense the Fae within my aura? And my pendulum spelled out neck, Neck, which that was funny to me because I can sit in my little garden area when it's cooler out. I can feel it in my neck where it just like all this stress comes out of it. And it's like my neck is where, okay, this is where we're comfortable, where we're de-stressing, we're getting rid of the tension, but it's in my neck, not my shoulders, it's in my neck. And having them say that I can feel it in my neck, that was interesting. So the next question, how do they appear in my natural surroundings? So in that case, I got where it spins around, and then I asked it, which means it can't answer, or it won't answer. So I asked if it wanted me to use charms, and it said yes, and it gave me, where's the other? The lion and the 2 people on the bike. So the lion is courage, and the bike is movement, a partnership, adventure, and I took it as a courageous partner. So in that, I took it as how they appear in my natural surroundings. They're a courageous partner. They help me get to where I want to go. Number 3, what signs or portals should I watch for? Now, when I tried to do this the week before, it also gave me moon, Moon. And that was really interesting because as I'm recording this today, which is, I don't know, the 25th? Yeah, June 25th. And I think it's today. Today is the first day of the new moon. And I've sort of noticed this before, but like when I'm outside or doing something, the closer it is to the full moon, the more I feel like there's something there. Alright, I'm back again. So anyway, like I was saying before the air conditioner kicked on, I feel a stronger connection to the Fae outside. Stronger near the full moon. And today is new moon, and I went outside take my dog out earlier, and there wasn't as many dragonflies. There were no hummingbirds whatsoever, which made me sad. And my normal little, things, the birds definitely weren't as loud. But I know a couple weeks ago it was strong. Even last week it was stronger. So I find that interesting. I was kind of noticing it before I did this reading, but I thought that was interesting. That what signs or portals should I watch for? The moon. So I'm going to start paying attention to the moon cycles, which I've been trying to do more anyway. Paying attention to moon and new moon. I actually started doing that because I noticed around the new moon, I get more headaches. And like today, I woke up with a headache, and today's supposed to be the new moon. So I thought that was interesting that on the one that they were like just annoyed with me, and then this one, they both gave me moon, which meant that they were actually talking to me the last one, but they were also messing with me because they didn't want to do it that 2 weeks ago or whatever. So number 4, what should I do when I feel the fae near me? This one made me emotional because it spelled out talk. Talk. And I showed you my little gnome figures in my week 2 video, and I go out and talk to them all the time. I check in with Benny because he's the troublemaker, and I check in with the new ones, and I check in with Basil because we apparently now have a basil plant that's actually growing. That it's not growing very fast, so I have a feeling I'm going to have basil this winter. I'm going to have to figure out where to put that plant. And the tomatoes, I check in with Tom because the tomatoes aren't doing so good, and I have to reassure him that it's not his fault. I have to check in with Barry because the strawberries are going a little crazy. The berries have kind of calmed down a little bit, but the leaves are going crazy and like getting bushier plants, and that's exciting. So I go out and I talk to my little gnomes, and so having them say what I should do when I feel near to talk to them, it's kind of natural to me because I go out and talk to my gnome figures, and when I'm alone I'll just like talk to whoever's there. And I think that started when I was younger, and I was when I was talking about the littles living in the house. I would talk to them all the time, and so I think that's just something natural to me over the years, that I just talk to whoever's there, and that was awesome to read that. All right, number 5. What do I keep missing in our interactions? So the pendulum spelled out lawn, Lawn. And I wanted some clarification on that one. So I pulled some charms, and I got the lotus flower and this little doe. So the lotus is resilience and purity. And then the doe is feminine energy, purity, gentle, and innocence. So there's a real focus on the purity thing here. And so I kind of took it as, for the lawn, I took that as I need to go outside and do some grounding. I need to go outside. And that's kind of been a big theme the last few months for me. I need to be outside more because I never used to be claustrophobic, and this winter I started getting claustrophobic-y, being inside so much, and I mention all the time, I feel like I'm in a box all day, and I need to go out, even though it's so hot outside. You know, the thermometer only says it's 89, but it's hot outside. And then with the purity thing, I took it as, don't go out thinking it. Just go out and just let things happen. Just, don't have an expectation. Just don't let things influence. Don't go out with what I'm thinking is going to happen. Just go out with pure, just whatever. To me, in my head, it makes sense. It's hard to explain it, but it makes sense to me that I just need to go outside and just not have any expectations. No, don't take my troubles with me. Just go outside with just pure whatever, let things happen. Number 6, what place holds strong Fae energy for me? It's spelled out Lumnon. So I googled it, like I do when most things don't make sense. And nothing came up, but Google kept saying, did you mean lunum, Lunnom? And so I asked, and you could, M and N are close, so I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe that is right. So I asked the pendulum, yes or no, did you mean the lunum? And it said yes. So I pulled up the link to that, and Google said that lunum is a big ass light bulb from IKEA. And you showed pictures, it's a big, huge light bulb. But to me, what place holds strong Fae energy for me? The light. I love light. I like decorative lights. I love solar lights. I love like the lanterns. I had some little fairy lights. I love just fun little lights. I love Christmas lights. I love fireworks lights. I love lights. And I think that it made sense to me that what place holds strong faint energy for me? The lights. And it kind of goes along with the moon, because when the moon is strong or full, it's a strong light. It's a big ass light. And that's when I feel more connected to them, and I can feel them stronger. So that made so much sense. All right. Number 7, where do the Fae feel me the strongest? So it did the little swirl around, meaning it didn't want to answer or it couldn't answer. So I pulled out, what order did I pull them out? So the double-decker bus, the pliers, and the treble clef. So to me, the double-decker bus is a unique view. Like looking at something in a different way. Pliers are an adjustment or a solution. And, the treble clef is higher levels or higher standards. So we got a unique view, making adjustments, and higher standards. So I took this as they feel me when I'm doing a bunch of problem solving. And, problem solving when it comes to, mostly I would think, to where we live. My higher standards are a house, but we're in a RV park in a camper. So I got to look at things a different way, make adjustments to how we cook, how I garden, how my garden is set up. That's a big adjustment and a very different, unique view. So I took that as they like my garden again. So, this is week 3. You have to go watch Summer's video about all of her little stories. I think that's my favorite video so far out of this. And I've only got the little back of my little journal, which makes me sad. But I don't think I'm going to do the torn paper on this back. I think I'm just going to write them down, which will save some room. Because on the back, I think stuff will get, because I can't really use glue right now because I really don't have space to mess with glue. I think my little sticker situation here, I think they will, if it's on the back, it'll get caught and ripped off, and I don't want that to happen. So, and then I got a plan for the front too. But I'm going to go work on week 4 stuff now, and I will see you next time.